Good day to everyone. I use this opportunity to welcome every one of us back into our channel. Today we are going to be discussing about eBay assembly mounting or changing after changing the contact chips. In our previous episode, we have done justice to how to remove a contact chips from your eBay assembly. But today, we are going to be talking on how to mount it back into our printer. It's not a serious process. It's just to couple it. In the previous episode, we discussed on how to couple the ink bay back after inserting the new ink chips, the new contact chips into the ink bay assembly. But today, what we are going to be talking about is all about how to mount it back. It's not supposed to be a difficult task. If you have been doing the video or you watch the video of how we did it in the previous time when we remove it, then mounting it back will be a reverse of it. Then this is an ink bay assembly. You can see those areas that I'm touching. Those are the contact chips that we have on it. We have changed those that are bad in our previous episode. So what we need to do now is to connect the ribbons back into those contact chips, because without them there won't be a signal to your motherboard, and without that your ink will not be recognized. So we want to put the ribbon back into where it's supposed to be. So it has already been fused into the board. So the other side of it is what we are mounting, or we are inserting into the ink bay assembly. So there is three ribbons there. So you have to start with the one that is at the bottom, then followed by the second one, then followed by the third one. There are some clips there. You just have to try and make sure that those ribbons are properly aligned with them and key into it. And you do it for all of them. Then after this second one, you pick the third one as well and insert it there. Then after then, you will now try to insert the contact into the contact chips so that there will be a communication between the ink and the board. So that is, you just have to be gentle with it so that you are not going to destroy the ribbon. Just gently insert them in. Make sure the ribbons are well fused to where they're supposed to be. Just apply little force on it so that they can click into it. And once you have done that, the next thing is inserting the terminals. Those terminals on the ribbon, insert them into the contact chips. So you have to be careful, and before you do them, sometimes you have to check if there is any of those contacts has an issue, if it's broken or if it's any issue with it, because without it being in the normal state, there won't be any communication between the ink for the system, for the printer to identify it. So you will see the contact chips, just gently insert them inside it. Take your time to insert them inside gently without any too much force, so that those things will not be destroyed. Try to insert them gently inside and make sure that they are not being affected, because if any one of them is affected, that's going to be a serious issue with because out of the 9 inks, maybe 2 or 3 has issue. You know, this kind of printer, once one ink is not recognized, the printer is not going to print. You can't print with 5 or 6 ink. The all inks need to be recognized before the printing can commence at all. So that is how you do it. I will do it the remaining one out off camera, then I will come back. So this is the bottom plate of the ink bay assembly, it has a metal where it sits, where it will be seated. So what you just first thing you need to do is to make sure that the seat, the iron plate seat, is properly seated and fixed to where it's supposed to be. So you align it very well before you place the ink bay assembly on top of it. So you can see it is flat, and there are some screws, about 2 screws in front of it, which you need to screw down before, so that it will stand firm and it prevent the ink bay assembly from being wobbled or not aligned to where they are supposed to be. So that is the ink bay assembly that we have put on top of the plate. So make sure they are straight and aligned where they're supposed to align to. So if you look in front of it, there are about 2 screws. Then before then, there is a face plate, there is a cover plate also, which you need to put on top of it. Those cover plates needs to be tightened to the ink bay assembly and the body and the frame of the printer. That is the plate that is going to hold it and make it firm, so that's not going to be shifting or neither falling apart anytime the printer is working. So that is what you need to do. Follow it gently. There is 1 screw at the extreme left. You have to screw it to the body of the printer. So if you can see what I'm doing there, that is the screw. And then you have to screw it down. Make sure it's properly screwed and firmed and tied very well, so that the ink bay assembly can be properly seated on that face plate, on that bottom plate. So once you have done that, you will see some other screws. Then connect the pressurized pipes also. Then there is the other side by the right of the cover plate. There is a screw there. You need to screw it down and make sure it is properly tight. Then once you have done that, your ink bay assembly will be properly seated. Then in the front, there are 2 screws there. You need to tighten to the frame. You have to tighten that bottom plate that the ink bay assembly is sitting on. You have to tighten it very well. Tighten it, not so too tight, but at least let it be tight enough that when you want to lose it again, it will be more convenient for you. There is 2 of them. That's the second one. You tie the second one as well. So once you have done that, the next thing is for you to insert your ink, to be very sure that all the compartments of the ink bay assemblies are properly working and the ink can be inserted into them one after the other. So I've arranged the ink because you cannot put a wrong ink into a wrong slot. You can see this one, it can't enter because it has tried to put a wrong cartridge into a wrong slot, so it's not going to enter. And the same thing applicable when you are inserting your chips as well. You have to know the color of the chips that you are changing. You can't go and change the chips of ink of matte black and put it on the yellow. There will be an issue. So you see them, as you arrange them very well, they are all going through one after the other. So once you have done that, you are through with the coupling. So you cover up your printer, then you set your printer on for start a proper operation. So that brings us to the end of this episode. So for more details about this episode, I've told you we've talked about ink lines in the past. We have talked about changings of contact chips. You can go to our previous videos and study them and watch them. Please subscribe to our videos, invite friends, comment, like our video. Remain blessed and God bless you. Thanks.